Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Arcadia Fallen, the legend of the Spirit Alchemist. I am Breakman Z. Thank you so much for joining me on this another romp. I know it's been a while since my last episode, but streaming schedules and whatnot, they can be a little peculiar at times. But doesn't matter. Point is, I'm here, so let's go ahead and see what kind of fun stuff Alex gets themselves into this time. Actually, I might... Let's see. I thought there was a thing to tweak the look here. Yep. Might be in game. Actually, in this character customizing, there we go. Okay, yeah, androgynous, yeah, okay.
Tell me about...
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're good. Alright. Yeah, the dots are story progression, so let's head to the flower shop. You approach Anne, who... Or Anne. Yeah, Anne. You approach Anne, who's looking deep in thought, poking away at the broken sword while Caden watches over her nervously.
Please tell me you are being careful with it. Some of those tools look rather sharp.
I am being as careful as one can be with an audience breathing down their neck.
Well, no, that's completely fair.
Sorry, but can you really blame me? You are handling my people's heritage like it is a piece of scrap metal.
Right now, that's all it's good for, isn't it?
Oh, Anne. No, don't say that shit, Anne.
I'm trying to salvage what I can, but unless you give me the room to work and fix it, the sword will stay broken and useless.
Things can have a value even if they are broken. You know.
No, they can't.
Oh. Yeah, let's be diplomatic here. Please don't fight. We're all on the same side here.
Leatherous mercy.
Well, you say that, yet the Outlander keeps breathing down my neck as though I will single-handedly dismantle his civilization. Fine. I'll try to give you more space. Alex, won't you keep an eye on her and make sure she doesn't go overboard with those tools of hers? Now, try to be diplomatic.
About that.
I'm sure Anne will be careful, won't you? You shoot the mage a look and she sighs, pinching the bridge of her nose with her gloved hands. Yes, I promise. Now let's get down to business. Since you're here, I might as well go through all of what I've discovered so far.
Okay.
Sure, tell me all about it. Oh no. My pleasure. So Caden's definitely not lying when he says this is a powerful magic artifact. The material used is unlike anything I've ever seen before. It's almost as if it's alive, pulsing with tremendous power.
I wonder.
Does that mean we can use it to repair the rift in the seal? I'm fairly sure. though I must admit I'm loath to use it. This is not legal magic, that much is certain.
How does this...
I honestly do not understand the human politics surrounding magic. I've studied the map of the mines we found in the mansion, and I'm confident that my initial theory holds true. The seal we are trying to fix is much larger than any of us could have predicted. The sword itself, despite its power, wasn't enough to fix it. So, even if I managed to fix the sword, it still wouldn't be enough to solve this problem.
Really?
There has to be another way.
I may have found a way to solve this issue. But our fussy Outlander friend is not going to like it.
What?
The sword in itself is not powerful enough. But if we were to combine it with the Spirit Locket and tap into the power of the demons you have sealed away, maybe even add a few more, I think that might be just enough. I'd have to destroy the remains of the sword to repurpose it into a suitable component to fit the locket. And I'm fairly sure I won't be able to, how should I say this, put it back the way it was when we're done.
You're going to destroy it? Absolutely not. No way.
I told you you weren't going to like it.
Look, I do not care anyway. The less I work on this thing, the better, honestly. We could just use more demon spirits instead of relying on the sword. We'd have to capture those demons, of course, and make sure our alchemist isn't killed in the process. Caden looks away in silence. The sword would just put us ahead, and I was under the impression we were under a strict time schedule, so... What do you think? Caden sighs and looks to you. Ooh. Your choice will impact Caden's path going forward. Do we go ahead and say use the sword, or leave it up to him? No. We can't. No, it's got to be his call.
About that.
The sword is yours, Caden. I can't possibly begin to understand what it means to you or your people. The decision is yours to make. Anne looks away. Caden seems startled by your answer.
Why would you...
I'm surprised you could trust me with such a decision. Anne does make a valid point. If it will stop this unspeakable evil from spreading, I suppose the sword does serve a better purpose in her hands. Just please allow me to continue witnessing the process. Well, fine, as long as you don't get in my way. Actually, this might work out brilliantly. I can't reach half the stuff back here because Quinn stacked it so high. But you, my tall friend, have just been promoted to lab assistant. What?
About that.
Sounds like you're about to have your hands full. Time for me to go then. You can start by helping me test this tool I'll need to pry the metal open. Careful though, it has a habit of cutting off fingers too.
Please, be careful.
What? Research demands sacrifice. Sometimes that involves limbs.
So you lied to us.
I'm sorry for the deception. I did not have my people's blessing to come here. But everything else that I have told you about the seal and the artifact has been the truth.
Why would the Outlanders want to keep this a secret?
We do not meddle in the world topside. Our elders believe the mountains will keep us safe from the Empire. But I disagree. The demons don't see borders. If we don't stop this disaster at the root, then eventually, my home will get wrapped up in the conflict as well.
So, You disobeyed orders.
You judge me? I was under the impression that you had been cast out from your original order as well.
You and I are nothing alike.
I don't know. Okay. Let's check in with Caden at the market. You want to talk to Caden, but you can't find him at An's, and he isn't at the shop either. It's getting dark, so you search the town for him. The town square is empty, so you sigh and continue on. You don't get that far before two guys walk up to you, intimidating sneers on their faces.
Hey, you!
Well, if it isn't the alchemist, you got some gall showing yourself out here after all the trouble you've caused. Breaking and entering at the boss's estate, stealing from us workers.
You'll pay for that!
We're not getting paid this month thanks to your little stunt.
Actually,
Take a moment and think. Why would I steal anything from you? Everyone needs coin. Everyone knows you and the boss had a road because he's working to put you magic folk back in your place. Stealing the worker's salary is low, even for your kind. So we think it's only fair you get to share some of our pain. They close in on you. Yeah, I'm more of a magic person than a fighter, so yeet! Look, a three-headed monkey! You turn on your heel and run. You're fast, much lighter than the two burly mine workers, but not unlike them, you spend most of your days inside a shop, so your stamina isn't all that great. You cry out when a big hand clamps down on the back of your shirt and you feel yourself getting lifted off the ground like you weigh nothing, the men's laughter ringing in your ears. Look at this scrawny thing! Thought you could outrun us, huh? Now it's time to have some fun. You instinctively curl up waiting for the strike, but when the blow lands, it isn't on you. What the hell? You let out a yell when you suddenly fall, landing in an ungraceful heap on the street, wincing. The goons are lying in the dirt around you, out cold. Above them stands a large shape, hard to make out in the dark. Your vision is still swimming, but you feel them help you upright, cold hands looking you over.
Talk to me. How are you feeling?
You blink in surprise, your vision swimming into focus on a familiar but glowless face.
thank you.
Caden? Thank you. You really saved me out. You really saved me there. Caden's face is devoid of any emotion. There's something off about him. The glow from his markings is dim to the point of not being there, and his voice is dull, like he isn't quite there either.
Look.
It isn't safe here. Let's go back to the shop. You don't argue with him as he guides you back down the street. He doesn't speak another word the entire walk. He leads you back to the safety of the shop. It's quiet. Everyone's already retired for the night. As soon as you're inside and the door behind you is safely closed, Caden lets out a relieved sigh and you watch, stunned, as the color slowly bleeds back into his skin. He winces, as if it is painful.
Are you okay?
Are you alright, Caden? I will be in a moment. Sorry for worrying you. You weren't meant to see this.
Look.
I don't use my training as a night walker often. However, you are in danger, and I wouldn't have been much help to you if they'd noticed me.
Tell me
What's a Nightwalker?
Well,
They are a special group of warriors trained to protect the mountains from danger. They tend to do that by staying hidden and gathering information. They get their name because one of their key skills is to be able to hide the glow of their inner light. For an Ijoma, that is a rather unsettling skill to possess. Our understanding of emotion is tied to the glow just as much as facial emotions or tone of voice. In order to turn off the light, you need to feel nothing.
So,
And you can do that? You're a Nightwalker? I never completed my training, but I can make my glow disappear for a time. Not that I would ever do so willingly.
once you are in that state, it is like a void. And in order to get your glow back, you must reconnect with your emotions. But if you spend your days in the dark for too long, one can forget the things that make you feel. It is not sadness, not anger, just an absence of emotion. And it is a very frustrating thing to not be able to remember what made you happy, what made you sad. I've been in that place. It took everything in me to return.
Oof.
And once I did, I quit my training. I was too frightened to go back to that place.
Yeah. Turning off your emotions. Yeah, that's kind of harsh.
what do you mean?
What were you doing outside? It's dangerous with Goldner's men wandering about.
Really?
I should be the one asking you that. I at least have some means to defend myself, but you... What would you have even done if I had not shown up when I did?
Actually,
I mean, it turned out quite nicely for me, I believe. It's not every day I get to be rescued by a handsome man with shiny body parts. You... And now you're making fun of me. Mercy protect me. I've been observing the streets at night for a while now to keep track of Goldner's men. I want to find some way to be useful to our cause, now that the sword is broken together with our original plan. So far, I've learned nothing useful.
so
Does Victoria know about you sneaking around in town at night? That would be a no. I'll take that as a no then. You remain silent in Caden's sighs, running a hand through his hair.
Look,
I know these nightly activities are risky, but I couldn't just stay here and do nothing. Now that Anna has taken the sword, the only useful thing I'm capable of is scouting in the dark, but it appears I can't even do that much.
a true Nightwalker would have been more useful, but I am not that.
A sudden feeling washes over you as you observe Caden struggling with this. Do you have feelings for Caden? Yes, I feel close to him. You feel a warmth spread in your chest.
about that.
Caden, I don't care what you think. I'm incredibly grateful to have you here, and I wouldn't change you for the world. Caden blinks, clearly taken aback by your confession, and he looks away, hiding his face from you with his hair.
It's appreciated.
That is very kind of you to say. I might have lost my head a little there. Sorry. It's late. We should get some rest and continue our mission tomorrow with fresh minds.
I'll be here if you need me.
Good night, Alex. The two of you part ways to go rest.
So, you brought the alchemist back to life and somehow linked your souls together in the process?
Mostly by accident, really. I was trying to help and it just sorta happened.
Fascinating. If I wasn't preoccupied with my current project, then looking into this spirit resurrection could be another viable option. I'm certain plenty of high-ranking nobles would be interested in procuring such research. However, I suppose the side effects might be too much, even for them.
Side effects? Oh, wait, you're talking about me? Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, let's check in on Anne. Anne's workshop is startlingly quiet when you return. You find the mage not busily welding together new metals, but instead leaning against her desk, reading what appears to be a letter. What are you reading there, Anne? Oh, hello there, Alex. Didn't notice you come in.
It's a letter from my brother, informing me that one of my father's associates has gotten a permit for a court mage, and insinuates quite heavily that I should give up my foolish endeavor and come settle down.
She folds up the letter and throws it on the table dismissively.
He's an idiot if he thinks I'd settle for a life as a pathetic court jester. But you've got to admire his tenacity. I didn't think his couriers would be able to find me all the way out here.
What do you mean?
What do you mean by court jester? You know how towns have to qualify in some way to be allowed to have a mage move in? Well, some noble families got tired of their offspring ending up all over the empire, so they rigged the rules so that big estates or courts could qualify as a town too. So mage children and from noble houses go to the academy to learn pretty illusion magic, and then return home to live off her family's wealth as entertainers. Why would I ever want that for myself? Spending the rest of my life humoring a bunch of corrupt nobles? What a joke.
Tell me about...
Your father's associate? When you frame it like that, it sounds rather sketchy. Oh, that's because it is. I love my father dearly, but I'm not a fan of how he uses our family's power to bend the rules to his will. You have a brother? I have two, actually. Older brothers, both of them. We don't get to see each other much for obvious reasons, but Marcus likes to write to keep me up to date on the Hoffman family's latest shenanigans. What about your parents? Don't they write to you as well? My father is too busy playing politics to spend much time on family matters. He does send the occasional extravagant gift as a way to mend the tear. She chuckles and taps at the gemstone brooch holding her tie together. My mother and I have a complex relationship. We don't talk much. Your father is a politician? It is his passion. The Hoffman family has always held high standing among the elites of Erodas, but my father's ideals have been shaping the entire region for a generation now. Erodas has a history of being rather conservative in its views on magic. My father changed that, tipping the scale towards a more open approach. He has done amazing work, so I excuse him for being a rather absent parent in my life. He would never have been happy if he had to put that part of his life behind him. He sounds like a great man. He really is. What are your brothers like? Orion is the eldest. He's been following my father's footsteps into politics, but I honestly don't think it suits him. He's too gentle for that type of work. It doesn't matter though, since he's the heir and it is going to be set for life no matter how his political career goes. He got married last spring. I've I have never met his wife, but Marcus writes that she's sweet, so I'm happy for him. Marcus is different. Easily excitable, but with the attention span of a small fish. My father was a patient man, but even he's growing tired of Marcus never sticking with anything for more than a day. The one thing that it does help him seem to keep his interest, though, is keeping in touch with me, which I appreciate.
Really?
Your family is wealthy? My excessively long...
Long name didn't give that away?
The Hoffman family is one of the oldest noble lines in Eridus. It's of no use to me, however. I escaped that circus when my mage abilities were discovered, much to my family's chagrin.
About that.
You should do what you love, no matter what your family might think. My thoughts exactly. My family doesn't understand my dream, or why I work so hard to reach it. They are simply projecting their own hopes and wishes onto me. It doesn't make them bad people, but it means I have to contend with walking this path alone. At least until I succeed. Then hopefully they'll realize that this is what makes me happy. It's funny. She turns to you. In a way, I think you understand me better than they do. We might not see eye to eye on some things, but you have at least experienced the same as I have, and have chosen to support me even if you don't agree. That means a lot to me.
I'm glad.
I'm glad that's how you feel, Anne. I want to be your friend. Friend, huh? She tastes the word like it's almost foreign in her mouth. I've never had a whole bunch of those, but for you, I think I can make an exception. So come on now, friend of mine. I need an assistant for some heavy lifting, and I think you've just volunteered. I can do that, no problem. Probably. You spend the next hour helping her move stuff around the workshop.
You know, when I first saw you seemed rather intimidating. Almost like a taller Victoria.
Oh, really? That's quite a compliment. Victoria is a formidable warrior.
Yeah, well, I realized quickly that you're nothing like her. You seem tough on the outside, but one can't scratch the surface much before realizing you're quite soft.
I'm soft?
Like a big, glowing jellyfish.
Ooh, what's a jellyfish? Alright. You know what? Let's look for demons. Because why not? Victoria is already waiting for you in mind when you leave the alchemy shop, and she gives you a curt nod when you approach.
Are you two ready?
I mean, as ready as someone can ever be, going on a demon hunt. How are we going to find them? So far, we've just stumbled upon them in town.
About that.
Normally, we'd ask around. Demons have a habit of leaving a trail. But given how anxious the townsfolk are, we better start with simply patrolling the area. If a demon is nearby, either you or I should be able to pick up on it.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha. Well, let's go on patrol duty then.
Mind if I tag along?
Michael comes out of the shop wearing his usual lazy grin, and Victoria glares at him suspiciously.
Michael, I swear.
Just what are you planning? Nothing too nefarious, I can assure you. I thought I might lend a hand and sate my curiosity as to how a former demon huntress works.
You could call it a personal interest for self-preservation.
If I tell you no, you're just going to then you're just going to follow us around anyway, correct?
Sure thing.
You know me well.
Fine.
Fine. Stick where I can see you.
I see.
Nothing out of the ordinary here. Nothing here either. Everything is normal. Perhaps we should all take a break? So tired.
I can't believe this.
It seems our earlier run-in with Ronan has made the remaining demons cautious. They won't just mindlessly attack like before, leaving us without any leads.
Really?
You think Ronan and the demons might be working together? That sounds really dangerous.
Look,
I've never experienced demons working together. They are vengeful creatures only out to fulfill their own sick desires.
Oh, really?
Shows just how much you know about spirits, then. Explain yourself, Mage.
Look,
Demon is just a term we in the Empire use to describe a spirit that has lost its way and become distorted. There are, however, many types of spirits in the world. Many who work alone, but some who don't.
I wonder.
Please continue.
thank you.
You see, spirits can be generally divided into 4 types. First, we have our common nature spirits. They vary in size, but are usually connected to things like old trees or larger bodies of water. Then there is the Fae. Simple creatures, quite reclusive, since the Empire once almost hunted them almost to extinction. Mirages are quite interesting. They are beings created by powerful emotions. They are rarely powerful and don't possess much agency or will, but the more stubborn ones have a tendency to latch onto the place of their birth, like an echo lingering in places of great happiness or sadness. And finally, we have ghosts. The spirits of mortals persist in this world for various reasons. Given the numbers and the style of our interactions with them so far, I would guess the demons we're encountering at the moment used to be ghosts.
I can't believe this.
That's absurd. We'd know if a group of humans had been trapped underground like this.
Look.
I never said it had to be human ghosts.
Are you sure?
Creepy. This is ridiculous. Such fairy tales will not help our situation. Do with the information what you will. My point is simply that if my theory is correct and these demon spirits are connected, if they died together, say an army or a family, well then there's good reason to believe they are working together towards a common goal.
So that's how it is.
And what goal would that be? Not a clue.
All the...
You are the worst.
So,
There's still so much we don't know. We need more information.
If you want information about obscure old legends and the occult, I've got just the guy in mind.
I find that highly suspicious.
But do you have much of an option?
The answer to that is no. The tavern is fairly empty so early in the day.
I swear, Michael, if you brought us here to get drunk, I will...
What is this, Michael? Back for another story?
A strange man walks up to your group, his thick round glasses gleaming in the candlelight as he glares pointedly at Michael. He seems familiar to you.
I might be. We're in a bit of a predicament, and I believe you have just the hints we need to move forward.
You know the rules. No spoilers.
oh, I
remember you. You're the bard who is telling stories to the kids in the town square.
Ah, yes. I remember you seem to be quite enthralled yourself. I appreciate an attentive audience. I believe we have not yet been introduced. My apologies. You may call me Rune. I am a bard who lives to tell stories, and tells stories to make a living.
The Guild of Bards is an ancient group of performers and storytellers. They guard over many of this world's greatest secrets. Getting them to tell those secrets is the tricky part.
Every story can be told. For a price.
You don't happen to have any stories about this area?
Of Anemone Valley?
Anemone. Okay. That's how it's pronounced. Whenever I've seen it, I've always thought it's pronounced anemone, but anemone. Okay. At least in the context of the game here, it's anemone. Gotcha.
Quite a few, actually. But from the way you ask, I suspect you are referring to something a little more specific.
Tell us spooky stories! Spooky stories!
Demons.
Rune raises a brow, glancing Michael's way.
I see.
Are you able to help us?
I think I know what you're looking for. But are you willing to pay?
We don't have a lot of money, but I'm sure we can work something out.
Spoken like a true diplomat. You're an alchemist, right? What about a potion in return for a story? I used to know this alchemist in another city who made a glasses polishing remedy that would last all day. No smudges, just clear eyesight. I am all out and won't be going back for quite a while. Bring me something like that, and I'll share my knowledge.
The bard leaves and Victoria sighs, crossing her arms over her chest.
I can't believe this.
Guess we'll have to drop by Elizabeth for this. How troublesome. Huh. You all complying with his request without objections. I've seen you shake down far less eccentric personalities for information. How come?
About that.
I'm kind of curious as well. I was sure you were going to draw your sword on him.
I don't handle every interaction with violence.
I'm sure we would all beg to differ on that one, Victoria. Well, maybe not every interaction, but you're close to a pretty good 50-50 average, I'd say. Victoria glares at you darkly.
About that.
I'm not so foolish as to antagonize the Guild of Bards.
How curious.
Huh. I didn't take you for the superstitious type.
So,
It has nothing to do with being superstitious. It's a well-known fact that you play by the rules of those protected by a patron of the arts, or you face the consequences.
That seems odd.
I am so confused. What are you guys talking about? The patron of storytellers, the Nightingale, an old god who's known to be rather mischievous towards those who wrong his charges. Once, a farmer in my home village refused to let a traveling bard seek shelter in the night for the night in his barn. A week later, his fields flooded, the barn burned, and the road he used to take the village was mysteriously overtaken by dandelions. The accident was only stopped after he went and made the proper sacrifices, asking forgiveness for his wrongdoing.
Well,
Those could have all just been coincidences, though. Right, you believe that. I'm not about to put it to the test.
Well, isn't this neat?
Well, I for one find it very encouraging that even a knight of the Empire respects the wrath of the old gods. It makes you seem less like a military drone and more like an actual person.
Michael, I swear.
Oh, sod off. Let's move on. Guess you're off to make a potion.
I didn't think you'd be superstitious, Victoria. That's rather disappointing.
If you're talking about the fact that I trust Rune because he's a bard, that has nothing to do with superstition. Just common sense.
It's not common sense to trust the words of a complete stranger.
You trusted me, didn't you?
Well, that's different. You're a knight.
And I trust Rune because he's a bard. It's that simple.
You know, Victoria does have a very good point here. I was like, yeah, I'm a complete stranger. I was a complete stranger to you when we met. Yeah, but you're a knight, and he's a bard. So, all right. Yeah, let's look for Victoria before we talk to Elizabeth. You find Victoria in the alchemy shop, looking through the papers she found in Goldrin's mansion. You move to approach her when a familiar sound rings out from her pocket. Victoria sighs heavily and pulls out the orb of communication. In a flash of light, Althea appears.
Victoria, do you have something to report?
I do. We've traced the origin of the demons to the crystal mines.
What?
It seems the mine, or more precisely the ore itself, is part of an ancient demon seal. The mining activity in the area damaged and freed the trapped spirits. It also appears that the owner of the mine himself knew that this was a risk, yet he continued his business undeterred.
A demon seal, then? How unfortunate.
You knew?
I had a feeling. When our people first started reporting demon activity in the area, I knew there was a crystal mine in the vicinity. That's why I sent you to investigate, and not just some common scout. Regretfully, this isn't the first incident like this the Knights have had to deal with.
If there are more cases, then we should halt all mining activity immediately. At least until we can determine if more mines hold seals like these.
You know very well that if we did that, the entire continent would descend into chaos.
Yeah, and what about continuing the mining? You're just inviting more chaos that way. You know, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
People are dependent on these crystals. The few demon outbreaks we've experienced have been handled swiftly and discreetly by our agents. I expect the same from you.
And what if this isn't just a few demons? We've reason to believe the prison under Anemone Valley houses an army of these powerful demons. If the seal breaks,
then you better see that it doesn't, for all of our sakes.
The image disappears. Victoria lets out a frustrated sigh and slams the orb down hard on the table.
Cursed politics.
Victoria? Are you okay? You really should stop eavesdropping, Alex.
About that.
You're right, sorry. However, please explain to me what I had just heard. Victoria huffs, but is more annoyed with the situation than you at the moment.
So that's how it is.
It appears that we're not getting any help for dealing with gold from the capital for dealing with Goldner.
What a mess. No doubt Michael's going to have a fine laugh about this.
About that.
It isn't your fault that politics have complicated things. You're trying your best. That's what matters. My intentions won't amount to much if that man doesn't face justice for what he's done. I will make things right somehow.
This is...
Just what kind of knight would I be if I couldn't even right such an obvious wrong? You catch a rare glimpse of Victoria being vulnerable, and it throws you.
About that.
Even if you fail, you'd still be you. You'd still be my friend. Victoria blinks at you, startled. You're a friend, huh? Even after everything, you'd still consider me... Are you crazy, or do you just have a lack of self-preservation? Yes. She laughs. But thank you for what it's worth. That means a lot.
Alethea might have decided that Goldner and the mines can't be touched. I respect her decision, but it doesn't mean we can't do a little bit of digging ourselves. He will pay for what he's done. One way or another.
Happy to help.
Together, we'll find a way to bring him to justice.
Not bad.
Right. You get up and leave.
I'm about the forest. I'm truly sorry.
Caden, you know I don't blame you for any of that.
But your home, I destroyed it. Took it away from you. I can never repent for...
Sure you can. We're all here because we're trying to fix things, right?
Even so, I'm still sorry.
Oh.
You know, at least you can appreciate the effort.
Welcome back.
Hello there, Alex. What can I help you with? So, I've got an odd request. A cleaning potion that keeps a pair of glasses clean all day? That is indeed an odd request. I thought you were hunting demons.
About that.
That's the plan, yeah. But we need this potion to get to that.
I see.
Running errands for someone, are we? Seems like the job of a hero hasn't changed much since my youth. That's such a specific request, though. Yeah, you could say that it's like a side quest thing. It's something to help fill the time. This is most curious. Why is that curious? Because I actually know of just such a remedy. One of my friends long ago wore spectacles, and I spent weeks perfecting a potion so she could... Well, that's not important. It just strikes me as incredibly lucky that your patron asked for this one specifically. I can show you how to make it easily, however. Sounds like I need to pay Quinn a visit?
Yes.
Be sure to say hi from me, dear.
I'll be off then.
Very
Yep.
well.
I'm jealous of your tenacity, you know. I stopped believing the Empire could change a long time ago. Yet here you are, fighting the corruption from behind the line. You are stupid if you think your actions will ever change anything. But perhaps, if we had more stupid people in the world, things would be different.
Or maybe, if people like you took a break from spreading chaos in the world, I'd have enough time to deal with more important problems.
But where would the fun be in that? Be honest. You'd be dead bored if you didn't have people like me to chase around.
You are impossible.
You know, it's that line from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He's out of line, but he's right. And now back to go see Quinn. They are so adorable.
What can I do for you today?
Hi, Alex. How can I help you today? So, about the Wilted Forest.
Sam has already filled me in on the failed ritual.
It's quite unfortunate, but explains the results I got from the soil earlier. The life of the forest was simply sucked out, and the earth was left barren. I am afraid nothing will grow there for many years to come.
I can't believe this.
That can't possibly be the end of it. There must be some way to fix it.
Actually,
It might be possible to use nature magic to return life to the soil.
I've never actually tackled such a large-scale project before. It's quite a bit out of my jurisdiction, so to say.
That's great.
If there is anyone who can do it, it's you, Quinn. I'm sure of it. I appreciate your confidence in me.
Alright, I'll give it a go. What's the harm in trying?
I could use your help, though. There are some alchemical potions I'm familiar with from back at college that might speed up the process.
I'll do it.
I can help out. What do you need?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so what do we need? I suppose for the base of the spell, I could use a really strong fertilizer. Do you think you can brew some for me?
Okay.
Sure, I'll see what I can whip up back at the shop.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Just swing by whenever you have the potion, then I'll get started.
So,
Elizabeth sent me for more supplies again. We're making another potion. Let me see what she needs. Quinn looks through the list and frowns. I'm getting some rather interesting orders from you lately. I have some of this, but I'm afraid I just sold my last lilies right before you came in. I feel like there's someone somewhere watching us and getting a good laugh out of this. That's crazy, though. It's not like anyone could have predicted that all of this would happen, right? Anyway, can you tell us who bought the flowers, Quinn?
It was a young boy who came by to purchase them. Light hair, red eyes, a general look of lost puppy.
Really?
That sounds just like Kim, doesn't it? Where did he go?
So that's how it is.
I saw him heading out of town and into the forest.
Let's go.
We might still catch him if we're quick.
that's great.
That was quite lucky. I'm sure Kim won't mind helping us. Let's go find him.
There.
You and Mime head out into the woods to search for the lilies Quinn sold. You search for a while before stumbling upon a small clearing with a couple of modest graves at its center.
Think he's around here somewhere?
Alchemist, what are you doing out here? And is this a spirit?
That can't be.
Mime, didn't you cast your spell? I did. I think. Maybe. Oops.
Are you sure?
But spirits are illegal, right? Is she like the one that possessed Ronan? Don't worry. Mime's a nice spirit. She's helping me search for your brother, actually. But you're right, she isn't supposed to be here. So, do you think you could maybe keep this a secret? Please? Kim's face turns a dark shade of red and he looks away, rubbing his neck. I guess if it's for my brother. I mean, you don't seem like a bad spirit, so... Thank you so much.
I'm still surprised to run into you out here. Not many folks come along this path anymore.
Really?
Then what are you doing out here?
Oh, well, you see,
Kim holds up the bouquet of flowers with a sad smile.
I'm visiting my parents.
He motions to the graves in the clearing and mime deflates.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't be. They died when I was very young, so I don't really remember them much. For all my life, it's been Ronan who's taken care of me. He doesn't like coming here, though. He says it's a waste to cling to the past like that, but I don't know. I heard that putting lilies on a grave allows you to connect to the dead buried there. I was gonna ask them if they could bring me back.
Oh, I have a feeling this is gonna affect my relationship with Kim. Because I could either say that I need them and, explain that I need them to help, to eventually help his brother, or I can let him place them and then once he's gone, take them. Or maybe the spirit of the forest will help grow some more lilies. Who knows? You know what? We're going to go to the die on this one. Odds, we go with I need those flowers. Evens, we let him place them. Odd. Yeah, about Ronan. I actually came out here because I heard from Quinn that you bought these flowers. I'm very sorry, but I really need them for a potion. Would it be possible for me to have them? But then I wouldn't have anything to put on my parents' graves. Will this potion really be helping my brother? I'm sure your parents would agree that the flowers will do more good for your brother with me than out here.
It's okay.
You're right. They wouldn't have wanted me to waste these on them if they could help Ronan. Kim hands you the flowers.
I'll be off then.
I'll be going now then. Please tell me if you find out anything, okay? Good luck on your quest, Alex. And it was really nice meeting you, Mime. You too. He rushes back off to town, leaving you and Mime alone in the clearing. I'm not happy we took the flowers meant for his parents' grave. You are right, though. I'm sure they would want to help Kim, want to get Kim his brother back any way possible. Now we have to do our best to make sure their trust wasn't placed in vain. Alright, so I think we need to figure out the fertilizer thing, and then we can... And then we can do all this. So Quinn has requested some fertilizer. Any idea how to brew it?
I see.
It should be possible to use the ingredients we already have, though you may have to resort to trial and error to get the right mixture. Next time you come to me to practice your alchemy, try out some different combinations and see if you can discover it. I would like to practice my alchemy. Yep, so, okay. Ooh, what have we got here?
Another discovery.
Fertilizer. Okay. Alright, that's a 2-star.
That's splendid.
Use 2 turns and come on. There we go. 4-star fertilizer. Done for now? Very well. You step away from the table and glance over your recipe book. There are still new potions for you to discover. Maybe you should come back and try to fill it out later? You might impress Elizabeth.
I did it.
I fetched the
That's
supplies.
splendid.
Great. Let's get to work then. Let's see. We need... oh, wait.
What's that smell?
That's me fucking up mine.
Another discovery.
Alright.
Well done.
Oh, there you go. A potion that keeps glasses clean. I hope your friend will be happy with the result. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Okay. So, yeah. The alchemy shop is empty. There's rummaging in the back and it goes to investigate. Elizabeth is leaning against one of the crates, staring at something in her hand with a faraway look in her eyes.
Oh, hello there, child. I didn't hear you come in. Must have been lost in thought. Yes.
I came back here to get some empty vials, but then I found this and I got sidetracked by nostalgia, I suppose.
What?
What What do you have there?
I see.
I suppose you've never seen one of these before. It is an old love charm. Couples used to give these to each other during springtime. The swan and rose supposedly bring good luck in love and fertility. People don't use such things nowadays, of course. It steps a little too close to illegal witchcraft. It's just a cheap trinket, though. Nothing magical about it. Except for the memories.
I wonder.
Who gave this to you? Elizabeth pauses for a moment, letting her fingers run over the carvings on the charm before she smiles. Thea.
Really?
That's so sweet, isn't it? I remember how her hand was shaking when she gave it to me. A nervous, silly youth in love. How things have changed.
So,
What happened between you two?
It's not that simple.
Sometimes love isn't enough. Our words, our morals, they were simply too different. I don't regret that it ended, but I do regret whatever hurt I may have caused her along the way.
so,
I'm sure you tried your best to make the right choices. We all do, right? Hindsight is always so much clearer than the present, but that is life for you. You don't get to live as long as I have without experiencing regret or heartache. I still have the memories to keep me company. That is enough for me.
tell me about.
What kind of memories? It was springtime, and the valley was in full bloom. There were 5 of us, attending the flower festival together. Not friends, but companions, much like you and your new acquaintances. Am I picking up the vibe that Elizabeth might have been poly? Like, it's just kind of the vibe I'm picking up now. Different people brought together by fate or chance to solve other people's problems. But in that moment, we had peace.
About.
Where are they now?
Just.
I couldn't tell you, I'm afraid. Things happened, and we all scattered to the winds, pursuing our own ideals and dreams as young people do. I hope they are happy wherever they are now.
So,
Do you need help with those vials?
Thank you, dear.
That would be lovely. Thank you. The shop really is looking much better already. It's all thanks to your hard work, Alex. You should be proud.
so,
I see.
Yep.
I'll just take a step back.
Okay, what the hell?
Oops.
Okay, am I missing something?
that. So, I see.
There we go. 4-star eyeglass cleaner.
I'll be
Very well.
Alright. So let's drop off the fertilizer with Quinn.
I did it.
I managed to brew the potion you needed. You rummaged through your bag for the vial and hand it over to Quinn.
Oh, this is perfect. Shouldn't have expected anything less from Elizabeth's star pupil.
Guess I've got no excuses now. I'll get to work on the spell at once.
I've got.
Take care.
Alright. And so, we're off to drop off the...
Ah, so you have returned. Did you succeed in your little quest?
Happy to help.
Here you go.
Thank you.
I do hope that all that running around didn't tire you out too much. I have a certain fondness for long, intricate quests that culminate in tough moral choices.
How interesting.
It was quite fascinating seeing which path you took, and the ending, just captivating.
What?
What? You followed us just to see what we would do? Goodness no, I detest running around. The sparrows told me what you were up to. Quite the little adventure you went on. So, what kind of hero did you turn out to be?
Let's see.
One who finds allies in the oddest of places, and who uses those allies to gain what is needed, even if it is a little uncomfortable. Honesty. It will get you far, but it also tear you down.
Perhaps
We'll see if you can keep it up.
a deal is a deal. One story for another. Well then, let me tell you the legend of the Forgotten Library. Anemone Valley has always had a myriad of legends connected to it. The Crystal Ore Underground has given life to many a tale of spirits and wisps. And so it was no wonder when a group of mage archivists settled down in the valley to study it. They blended in among the townsfolk, quietly conducting their research, eventually settling down, starting families. For many years they worked in peace, but any great historian can tell you how inevitable the great wheel of time turns peace to war. The Empire had wasted years engaged in a foolish conflict in the north, and their failures had been chronicled diligently by archivists stationed at the border. Eventually, someone realized that rewriting history was easier than winning the war. But that's a hard thing to do when a bunch of dusty academics enjoys writing books. The archivists of the valley recognized what was about to happen, and chose to bury their life's work in a secret vault underground. The Forgotten Library. Legend has it that chronicles of history, long since lost to time, remain intact in those sealed halls, waiting for someone to discover their secrets. As for the archivists themselves, they vanished overnight, taking with them all evidence of them having lived here at all. No one has seen them since.
A library underground? How would it even be possible to keep something like that a secret?
If there was one thing the archivists excelled at, it was keeping secrets. Blood and legacy spells were a specialty of theirs. It wouldn't surprise me if only those with the blood of an archivist may be allowed to enter that place. Quite exciting, no?
The blood of an archivist?
Michael.
But that is it for my stories tonight. I think you have all the pieces you need to proceed. Have fun.
Ooh, yeah. Alright. So I feel like talking to Michael is going to be our progression point. So let's talk to some other folks first. Mime is hanging out in the back alley, sitting on top of a crate, looking up at the clouds passing by.
Hey, you. Did you need a moment to calm down, too?
It's been quite a ride so far, hasn't it? I'm so exhausted.
Actually,
It turned out well. We learned a lot and no one was caught. Right, of course. I still can't wrap my head around what happened in the forest. A failed ritual just sucked all the life out of it? Just what kind of magic is hiding beneath us? I also can't help but wonder why I was spared. One moment the forest was there, and in the next, I woke up all alone. My memory is pretty fuzzy, but it's kind of weird, right? I agree, that is odd.
About that.
And I just have this feeling, you know? That all of this is connected somehow, and it's just so frustrating not to know. Mime jumps down from her crate and starts pacing back and forth in front of you. It's just, I feel like my head's going to explode. Demon prisons, possessions, and secret libraries. We've learned so much, but I'm only more confused, and we haven't gotten any closer to finding a way to get you and me separated. We'll find the answers. We just have to keep looking. Right. You're right. I just hate the state of not knowing, you know?
Well...
The key to all of this seems to be the Spirit Locket. I mean, if you can use it to seal demons away, then it obviously makes sense that you'd be able to unseal something as well, right? We can't very well go and try unsealing the demons in the locket, though. Victoria would not be happy about that. I wonder if unsealing a spirit is similar to exorcising a demon. I mean, we know that exorcism is bad, since people, well, die. But what if there's a way to just gently let the spirit leave? No ripping souls into pieces. If we could do that, then there might be hope for Kim's brother, too. No way Ron's gonna show up and offer to be our guinea pig, though. But you know, I actually have a crazy idea.
What do you mean?
What kind of idea?
About that.
What if I tried to possess you, and then you could try and remove me? You think that might actually break the bond?
You see...
Honestly, I'm not sure. But we might learn something if we try, and that should be reason enough, right? Alright. Mime's path going forward. Do we trust Mime? Or just say, no, fuck you? No, she's adorable. Let's give it... She's adorable, and as the old saying goes, fortune favors the bold.
I'll do it.
Okay, Mime. Go ahead and do it. I trust you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's try it. Mime closes her eyes and furrows her brow in thought for a moment. And then you feel a tug on your soul, much like when you use the Spirit Locket, but opposite. You let the feeling in, and in a flash, Mime is gone. Wow, this is weird. The world looks so different when you're tall. Mime is the greatest spirit ever. Sorry, that's enough fooling around for me. It seems I'm in control at the moment. This must be how the demon controls Ronan too. The question now is, can you force me out somehow? You shove with all your might and you feel the connection flip.
Whoa!
Mime appears again, stumbling and a bit disoriented.
You did it!
Hey, you did it! You managed to push me out.
I wonder.
How did we do it? Did we unbind ourselves?
You see,
No, it doesn't seem like it. Sorry, Alex.
well,
I can still feel the bond between us. In the end, we were just fighting over who had control. We'll have to try something else to sever the link. Sorry.
about
Don't be down, Mime. It was worth looking into.
Thank you.
And I mean, it wasn't like we didn't learn anything.
I wonder.
If you were able to resist me and push me out, there's a chance Kim's brother might still be in somewhere inside him. We might be able to save him. We'll save him somehow and get Kim his brother back.
You're the best.
That's the spirit.
You know, Victoria, when you and I met, I was pretty scared.
And I'm still scared.
Okay, I'm still scared, but now that we're all a team working together, I'm not as scared anymore, and I want to help. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm not running away anymore.
Mime. I'm glad. We're still not going to have a team name, though.
Oh, come on!
Killjoy. Oh, okay. No. We're not ready to look for the Forbidden Library yet. Okay. So now we got... You enter the tavern to find Michael sitting in his usual seat. Rune sits on the other side, smiling pleasantly.
And then the merchant ran through the town without his trousers, yelling about demonically possessed ducks. It was a blast.
You do know, Michael, as much as I love these stories of yours, they are not going to pay off your debt. Even with the rate of chaos you enact, you would have to live 10 lives to make it up.
You say that to discourage me, but I am only hearing a challenge.
Your hero's tale will end in tragedy. You can try to laugh it off all you want, but the path you're heading down, as someone who begrudgingly still considers you a friend, it concerns me. Why can't you let the past go?
You should know better than anyone. Not the past. What's the key to the future?
No one can look into the future.
Maybe I'll be the first then.
The bard lets out a heavy sigh and empties his glass.
I pray that what you find won't kill you, or worse, break you.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
What was that all about?
Let's see.
Just a good old-fashioned disagreement between friends, that's all. But in truth...
He has every right to be mad at me.
The bards have a strict rule of not revealing secrets the listener hasn't paid for in full. Their deity is quite adamant about that one. Every story has a proper price, and some can be quite pricey. I may have gotten a little too much for the price I paid him once. can't you apologize and pay him back what you owe? Knowledge is one of those things you can't just take back. Secrets are more secure than physical riches, honestly. No one can steal them from you. As for the apology, I still stand by my decision. Rune understands that, even if he doesn't agree. Michael's expression suddenly turns somber, and he looks away from you deep in thought.
That's just how it is.
I made my peace long ago with the type of man I've become. Does it repulse you to know a person like me? There's a genuine curiosity to his question, and you search your heart, trying to figure out what you think about the wild mage. You're my friend, Michael. I can't say I understand you completely, but I respect your decisions, and I want to help.
Thank you.
You really have too good a heart, Alex. Be careful someone like me doesn't come along and step on it. Speaking of our dear bard, did you complete his request? What did you think of his story?
About that.
He told us a story about Anemone Valley, and some of the details made me think about you. Michael, is it possible that you possess the blood of an archivist?
I see.
He gave that away, did he? I was right? In a manner of speaking.
I suppose I owe an explanation. Look.
To be an archivist, like any school of magic, is not an exact science. Any mage can become an archivist with the right training, but since most of their spells involve retracing history using blood, being blood of the family gives certain perks. I never knew my parents. I was too young to register what happened during the cleansing, but I carry their blood. That makes me an archivist as well, even if I never trained as one.
So,
Do you know anything about your parents? There was not much left after the Empire went on their mad crusade against the bookkeepers. I later learned through others that they were both archivists, working together at a research facility outside Erodes. But that is all.
well,
At least you know that much. That's more than other people get. A hollow comfort given what history tells us what happened to them. He sighs and looks off to the side. They didn't deserve to be executed like that. They were doing work for the Empire, and then from one day to the next they were hunted like beasts. All those people.
what do you mean?
You mentioned some kind of research facility?
Let's see.
Right. Archivists were a bit different from other academy mages. While tinkerers and herbalists would set up individual shops, archivists were assigned to libraries where they would work together to collect and document. Sometimes these libraries would become full-out research facilities where mysteries would be uncovered through years of hard work. And to ensure the safety of such valuable research, the Coven of Mages often guarded it jealously behind legacy spells and enchantments.
Really?
What's archivist magic? How is it different from what Quinn and Ant can do? That all depends on the individual mage, honestly. But a general theme of archivist magic is that it connects us to the past. Some were able to see glimpses of past events. Some could commune with the dead. Fancy little tricks like that. Usually spells like that require blood as a catalyst, another reason why people were wary of them.
I wonder.
The bard told me about a hidden library underneath the town. A library only an archivist can enter. Sound familiar?
Did not expect that.
So it is true then. It really is here of all places. You're telling me I went through all that trouble for a secret you already knew about? To be fair, you didn't pay the guy a lot for the story, so it matches up.
First of all, I didn't know the library was here. I had an inkling, which may or may not have influenced my decision to come here.
I wanted to learn a bit more about what my parents worked on, but after my little dispute with the bard, I didn't have anyone to guide me on where to look.
About that.
You could have just asked, you know.
Oh, really?
Well, yes, I could have. Now I could have. But back when we first met, I distinctly remember a sword being at my throat, so excuse me for being a bit hesitant to share this. The library will surely hold the information we need about this town's underground, possibly even the tools to fix it. So what if I get something out of it as well? It's a win-win deal, no? Alright. Are we hurt that Michael lied to us, or do we understand and forgive him? Yeah, you know, we're like,
Okay.
yeah, I get it. I understand why you did that. Let's go and find the secret library together.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex, for being understanding. You leave the tavern. Alright. Yep. We chatted with everyone. Alchemy is maxed out, so. The tunnels beneath the valley are quiet as you and your companions make your way back beneath Goldner's mansion.
So, this story Rune told, can we really trust it?
Seems like a leap of faith. Bards do not fabricate stories. They only retell past events. They might exaggerate, but the core elements are always true.
Can't believe this.
I'm really surprised you're so quick to trust this individual.
Look,
Don't worry about it. If this library he really is hidden in these tunnels, this might be our best chance to learn the motives of our enemies.
You know,
If we can get inside, that is. You turn a corner and the tunnel ends abruptly. A large circular door towering above you. Did he say anything about how to open this? Not really. Is it just me, though? Or does that door somehow look familiar? The design does remind me of the wheels of the Spirit Locket.
You think so?
Do you think we can open it using the alchemy? Just what kind of ingredients do we need, though?
Well, isn't this neat?
I might have an idea about that. Michael steps up to the door, and with a flash of purple magic, he cuts his hand. Red blood drips down his palm, and he quickly turns to press it into the center of the door.
Michael, I swear.
Michael? Just what do you think you're... The room shakes as the door begins to glow with a red light.
Well, I'll be damned.
I just activated the puzzle. It wasn't that difficult to figure out. Now we just need our dear alchemist to finish it up.
This is it.
Right. I've got this. You step up to the puzzle. Sort the runes until they all glow to unlock the door. Alright. This is going to be fun times, folks. Oh, wait a minute. What about... Wait a minute. Okay. There we go. You all stumble down into a dark, musty chamber, the secret door swinging shut behind you. Looking around, you find yourself in a massive library. Everything is covered in a thick layer of dust, and as soon as you step inside, ancient magic lamps flicker to life, casting a calm blue glow upon everything.
Got to be kidding me.
This is quite the sight.
An archivist collection.
It really has survived all these years.
Michael speaks softly. His voice is uncharacteristically serious, his eyes taking in the many tomes and scrolls.
To think that such a place was hidden beneath this town. I have to report this to Alethea.
Alethea, that's it.
I'm afraid if you were to do that, Madam Knight, I would have to stop you.
Michael speaks with a kind but deadpan seriousness that makes even Victoria pause.
Michael, what's going on?
So, you finally show us your true colors. I was wondering when we'd see the real person behind that fake smile of yours.
I think I've been fairly upfront about my opinions of your handlers. This place is a unique collection of our long-lost history. I won't have its location revealed by a military bootlicker who's never had an independent thought in her life.
Yeah. Influence of the personality going forward. Do you tell him to shut up or try to be the voice of reason? Yeah, I think all in all we've tried to be the voice of reason through all of this, so yeah.
Everyone, please calm down. I'm sure both of you can see that we have more important things to settle right now.
Why do you have to come here? It makes sense. Fine. I'll yield for now. But I am keeping an eye on our dear knight for the time being.
We'll be watching each other then.
If you're all quite done fighting over there, I think I've found something you'd like to see.
You look around and spot Ant much further into the library, holding up a small silver disc that looks awfully familiar.
Is that a spirit locket?
But what is it doing here?
From the look of things, I'd say they were building them here.
Wait. Build? Someone built these things?
Well, obviously, magical artifacts like these don't just materialize out of thin air.
You say that, but
This is fascinating. It's clearly similar to the locket you've been using, but more refined somehow. Perhaps this is a later model? This might just be what we need.
I'll be taking that. Thank you.
A voice suddenly purrs from deeper within the library. From the shadows, a hand appears to grab Anne's arm, plucking the locket from her grasp.
What the? Give that back!
Anne struggles against him, but the demon heart barely acknowledges her. Instead, he stares at the locket, transfixed.
How strange to finally be the one holding this cursed thing. is most appreciated.
I swear, if you hurt her, let her go now.
Oh, please. And have her turn around and fry my head with those pretty hands of hers? I think not. You people have been getting in my way twice now. So excuse me if my patience is worn a bit thin.
Getting on people's nerves is a specialty of ours. Not about to argue with that.
But that won't matter now. Because I finally got what I need. Once I've charged up this locket, my brethren will finally be free.
You do realize you need demon spirits to power that locket. You're going to use your own people as sacrifices?
How very human of you to assume I would be willing to betray my own like that. I'm not like you. And neither is this locket anything like that beaten old prototype you carry around. Care for a demonstration?
He points the locket at Ant and it begins to glow ominously. And then a beam of light shoots out and connects with her chest. Just like when you seal away demons.
You're going down, Ronan.
Let's go!
Ronan flinches away as the light from your lockets meet, and Anne uses the moment to break free from his grip and escape.
It appears I'm outmatched for now. This thing is running on empty. No matter, I know just how to fill it up. Bye for now, little alchemist.
He grins and disappears into the darkness.
We've gotta go.
We can't let them escape like this. You move to rush forward, but a hand on your shoulder holds you back.
Don't be so rash. You'll get yourself hurt. Let him go for now. We have other things to worry about.
I wonder...
I'm not sure what just happened, though. We didn't use the locket to seal this time, but to attack? It seems you were finally able to tap into the demon's souls in the locket. That's good. It will certainly be useful down the line.
This is...
Are you all right, Anne? You look a bit pale. I'm fine.
I'm fine. Just rattled. I think I understand just what that locket is capable of now. Huh?
What do you mean?
Actually...
When that light hit me, it felt like it struck my soul and was pulling it straight out of me. Pulling? You don't mean...
I'm pretty sure Ronan just tried to seal my soul away in that locket.
That's... Are you okay, Anne? You're not hurt? I still have my soul, if that's what you're asking, yes. This is disturbing to say the least, though. What a disturbing kind of magic.
Huh.
I know that this must be hard for you, but let's try not to judge before we have their side of the story.
About
That's going to be difficult, though, isn't it? No one's here for us to ask? I'd say the library they left behind is as good a place to start as any. We should look around. Wise words, my friend. There must be something here that can give us a clue as to what happened. There's a desk near where Anne found the Spirit Locket. Schematics and papers are scattered around, all written in a dry academic tone that's hard to comprehend. From the dusty literature, your eye is caught by a book with a bright and friendly cover.
Huh?
A children's book? I guess even stuffy scientists need a break once in a while. You crack open the pages, which are stiff and dry with age, and begin to read.
So,
There once was a child with a mischievous mind. He liked pulling pranks on the people he liked. Families, friends, family, even strangers sometimes, would find milk in their boots and toes in their tea. The people cursed and swore at the laughing child. Little did they know something had taken root in his heart. A spirit of rage had found a place to call home, and the more they cursed, the stronger its hold became. The hate grew so much larger than the boy, and he split down the middle like a nut cracked open. His kin was slain by the cycle of anger they had caused. And in the end, there was nothing left but the mirage.
Yikes!
Wow. Old fairy tales are really are something. Yeah, Mime, remind me to tell you about a little thing called the Brothers Grimm. Because just, damn. Let's leave this here for now, before it gives us all nightmares. There's a large blackboard on one of the walls. It's filled with scribbles of half-finished calculations and mysterious runes that might be a foreign language, or just someone's really terrible handwriting. I'm willing to bet towards the latter there. At the bottom, a message is written in much neater handwriting. I know what you did, Chris. I swear, if I find one more fake spider in my things, I'm gonna have Liv weld your boots to the ceiling. Bjorn. Nothing useful here. We should keep looking. You walk among the bookshelves, searching for anything about this Spirit Locket. There are mostly huge tomes of historical records you won't even begin to go through. But eventually, you do find a pile of folders that look relatively new compared to everything else down here. Project Mirage is written in bold letters across the front. Did you find something? You open the folder. Most of the writing doesn't mean anything to you. Calculations and schematics strewn across the pages. However, there is one thing you definitely understand. An old photograph.
Whoa!
No way! Is that Elizabeth?
Well,
It sure looks like it. She looks so young. This must have been taken ages ago. Oh, don't tell her I said that. Mime's exclamation draws the attention of the others, who walk over.
My, the old alchemy master was quite the looker, wasn't she?
That woman with her. That looks like Alethea.
really?
Both of them knew about this place? Yet none of them chose to speak to us about it. Given everything that's happened, why keep it a secret?
About that.
I say we go ask her ourselves.
Got it.
I couldn't agree more. Let's go talk with the alchemist and get to the bottom of this. Outside, the sun has already set, but there is still light in the old alchemy shop.
There you are. How is the demon hunt coming along?
We need answers, Elizabeth, and we need them now. What in the world happened to put such a serious expression on your face? You hand the picture to Elizabeth, and she immediately grows pale.
Where did you get this?
About that.
We found it in a library hidden under the town, among an archivist's collection.
I don't understand. That door was supposed to be sealed.
How did you?
Of course. I should have known.
Please, Elizabeth. You must understand, it's better we get the truth from you instead of finding it ourselves. Since when did you start sounding so wise? But you're right. You deserve to know.
First thing first. The locket. Is it safe?
If by safe you mean currently in the hands of the demon we have been hunting, then yes.
Leatherous mercy.
Just what kind of locket is it? And what's Project Mirage?
It's not that simple.
It's quite a long story.
Look,
Then you'd better get started. Elizabeth takes a deep, shuddering breath.
I see.
Very well. I haven't shared much of my past with you. I thought it better you focused on the task at hand, but it is clear the two have become intertwined. The Spirit Locket you bear. Many years ago, I helped build it. The Empire needed a weapon in their fight against the North, and Spirit Lockets were very effective. But the war dragged out, and eventually the spirits we had used as fuel disappeared.
Really?
You hunted them to extinction. Or they merely found better places to hide. We don't know for sure. But what is certain is that it started a massive arms race trying to find an alternative energy source for the lockets. That's how Project Mirage started. Ancient records show that when an abundance of emotion is gathered in a certain location, a spirit might spring to life. A mirror, or mirage. Supposedly they are brittle things with little shape or form, and dissolve quickly depending on the strength of the emotion they are born from. Like a bad feeling lingering in the air. Our goal was to build a locket that could safely trap and preserve a mirage as an alternative to nature spirits. It would be a near-endless source of energy. With the war raging, there was an abundance of rage and sorrow to pick from. We just needed the right tool.
That seems...
This is... Why haven't I not heard of this? Even if you didn't succeed, it should be in the Academy's archive. I've read every piece on alternative energy sources in existence, and never once heard about this project.
That's because we succeeded.
Pardon?
It's not that simple.
Liv was a genius tinker, years ahead of her time, and she succeeded in creating a second generation of lockets. But it was never used in the war. Because mirages are mirrors of human souls. An unexpected feature of the invention was the ability to lock away human souls as well.
That seems...
While that is problematic, trust me, I realize, I don't understand why it would make you shelve the project. The human spirit doesn't possess any magic. That's why spirits were used instead.
Normal human spirits don't. But what about mages?
A tense silence falls over the room.
If just...
You must understand, the Empire was desperate. The people were getting sick of a never-ending war. Alethea kept getting called back to the capital, and every time she returned, she seemed more distant. We knew something was coming, and we didn't want to risk this discovery becoming a weapon to be used against the very people who built it.
Let's see.
So you sealed the locket away
Yes.
on Liv's insistence. She still believed in a time of peace the locket might be used. Excuse me. The locket might be used for good, and so she and the other researchers hid their discovery. Locked it away. Many of them were later killed in the Great Cleansing or disappeared north. I too left my post and decided to set up shop in town to keep an eye on things.
I can't believe this.
And when demons showed up, you didn't think that might be related?
Let risk grant me strength.
The demon's seal beneath this town was no secret to the Empire. At least not to those they deemed important enough to know. This location was chosen because of its unique situation. In order to build a spirit locket, after all, you need spirits to test it on.
Oh.
That sounds really horrible. How? The demons were sealed away, right? It's not easy, and definitely not cheap, but it is possible with the right mages to open a seal like that, and drag a single spirit through to do the experiments, and then return it to its prison. That certainly sounds ethical. Those poor spirits. It's horrible. Those poor spirits. You weren't saying that when they were trying to kill us all.
Well,
Even so, it must have been hard on them.
Is it possible that Ronan, or the demon possessing him, is one of those spirits extracted for these experiments?
Let's see.
It would certainly explain his grudge against us humans, and also how he knew about the locket and its location. You think this has been his plan all along?
Look.
He went after the alchemy shop to steal your locket. We thought it was because he was going to use it, but he might have known it was the key to enter the library. I wonder, though, how he was planning on getting his hands on the blood of an archivist.
I see.
Maybe he was planning to possess you later down the line.
Oh, really?
While the thought is flattering, he couldn't possibly have predicted that I would show up. Could he? It doesn't matter anyway. As things stand now, he already has the locket he was looking for.
What would be his next step?
He'd need to charge it. Find a mage he can seal away, so he can use the locket to break the seal.
His minions have already failed in recruiting enemy for this. So who would be his next target?
Quinn might be in danger. We have to go warn them immediately.
I agree that it is a possibility, but please remain calm. Now that we know his plans, we have the opportunity to lay a trap.
Oh, really?
Oh? I thought you'd be running straight back to the capital after this to get permission from your handler. Michael. What? I'm merely pointing out that if word gets back to Althea that the locket is here, you can wave goodbye to any chance of us laying a trap to get it back. Victoria?
I was tasked with putting a stop to this. We can't let Ronan succeed. We'll proceed on our own for now. Alethea did order that we take care of this any way possible without drawing attention to ourselves. This is the best way to do that.
That's... okay then.
Very well.
I can't believe I'm saying this. But thank you, Victoria.
Please don't.
So what do we do now?
We lay a trap for a demon.
Ooh. Chapter 4, The Mage's Ward.
Okay, so here's the plan. Since Ronan still believes we're clueless about his next target, we have an edge.
We are going to prepare and be ready for when he strikes. Seems like quite a lot. What do you intend to do? Stake out my shop? If it's necessary, that's what we'll do. Oh my.
About that.
I bet Alex can make some alchemy potions that will be helpful for fortifying the shop. We'll trap him for sure. Maybe you should leave town for a while, Quinn? You could visit Eridus for a few days. Then you wouldn't be in harm's way. I am not going to hide away. What would my customers think if I just up and vanished like that? What about the library then? We could set up a base for you down there. Surely that would be safer. It's not like the library is impenetrable. Ronan has already proven himself capable of entering it, despite its protections. Only someone with the blood of an archivist should be able to open that door, correct? How did he get inside? That's what I'd also like to know. There's still much about our demon friend that remains unclear. Maybe we should go and talk with Kim again? He might be able to give us a bit more insight into his brother's behavior. If we can find him, that is. He usually comes to us, not the other way around. But I agree it's worth looking into.
This is the plan.
We will bolster our defenses, learn more about the enemy, and finally set the trap. A simple but efficient strategy. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll find a way to complicate things.
This is it.
Let's do this, everyone. Go team! Woo!
Is something wrong, Victoria? You look like you want to say something.
Merely waiting for the gloating to start. Go ahead. Call me a hypocrite.
You should know by now, I'm not really the type to revel in others' misfortunes.
Which somehow just makes this even more frustrating. I criticized you for going against orders, and now I went and did the same. Just like that time.
Victoria, out of all of us here, you have proved to be the one most capable of dealing with problems with a level head and a calm mind. What happened between you and the hunters, I can't say I understand. But I do know that no matter what we might be facing in the future, I trust you to steer us in a just direction.
Anna's right. You really are soft as a jellyfish.
You don't say.
However, I think I needed to hear some soft wisdom for a change. Thank you, Caden.
Anytime.
Alright, so we are at chapter 4 now. So I think this is a good place to stop. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on this. If you're watching on Twitch, make sure you hit the follow button so you know when I'll be streaming next. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you ring the notification bell and subscribe so you know when the next episode comes out. Until next time, this has been Breakman Z saying thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, may your save files never be corrupted. Take care, everyone.